Hello. Happy Tuesday, everyone. Oh, turn my mic towards myself. How you doing? What's going on? It's been a few days. I get tired. The events we have for the PulseChain tour are fantastic and always a great time. And I just decided to take a few days off whilst I was in Charlotte doing that. So here we are back at it. I almost didn't stream today. I'm still a little just struggling. I'm on the struggle bus, but I got some good sleep. And pardon me, y'all. Man, I moved this camera off the table so it wouldn't shake every time I move the table, but it's close to the table. Anyways, hey, so you know this guy Richard Hart? Anybody know who that is? Anybody heard of him? Yeah, maybe. I don't understand why people think he's disappeared or abandoned us. I don't get it. He still tweets. I mean, just because he's not streaming does not mean by any means that he has left or abandoned this community. What a riot. I don't understand people's mentality around that. Someone show me how Richard has disappeared. You know what he's doing? He's training. He's so focused on making his next moves that he doesn't have time to stream. Because what good would that do? Really? What good would come out of Richard answering the same 10 questions that everyone has about, when's the bear market going to end? Why is PulseX this or that? And, why are my bags down? Boo hoo hoo! Boo hoo! Get over it! Ooh, hopefully the signal stays. I was just watching DJ Cryptomatic. Shout out DJ Cryptomatic for constantly keeping it real and getting our groove on Twitch. Y'all need to follow him on Twitch if you don't already. That's the only reason I have Twitch, is to listen to DJ Cryptomatic. So definitely check him out. What I was saying real quick was that just listening to people like Wales Only and Westcott talk about how ridiculous it is that all these babies are, out there crying about their bags and how we're under sack prices. And that's a freaking gift, y'all. For people who didn't get in, didn't know about the sack, you're welcome. Welcome to the family. Go buy yourself a bag. This is an opportunity of a lifetime for you to make so many X's you can't even wrap your mind around it. Not financial advice. I'm just saying, I didn't, again, still haven't seen that happen for myself, right? Because I did not get into Hex until March of 2021, maybe May. I have to look. I know it was one of the M months. And I'll get to the chat in a minute. I see y'all there. So basically, I just want to come on here and I'm going to share a little bit from both. Did you all know that he wrote two? There are two books. Sci-Vive is his most well-known book. He also has a book that was once called Fix the Money, Fix the World. I rebranded it, or I retitled it, and I believe it was with his permission. I think I asked him if that was okay. I think he said yes. But it's now called 15 Ways to Fix the World. And we did that on purpose. He actually talks about I don't remember if it's Sci-Vive or 15 Ways to Fix the World, but it's also the reason that my username is AWildSJ. He talks about the fact that numbers and the letter A come up first in searches. So I kind of racked my brain around, what is it I could do? What kind of little name could I come up with for myself? My username was Sci-Viving SJ. And then when I read through Sci-Vive and realized that one of Richard's great pieces of advice is that you need to brand yourself. What is it that you're bringing to the table? And sci-vibe is not my work. It's my I'm passionate about it. I'm excited. I love sharing it with people. It's Richard's words. I just lended myself and my energy to it. But it's not my work. So sci-vibing SJ, as cool as that wasn't what I wanted to be branded as. So a wild SJ, because I'm a little wild, I'm a little out there, right? That made a lot more sense for me. And happened to start with the letter A. So I do come up for, I love the Pulse tube. Right there on the front page. So it's a really smart way to do it. All that to say, that's why we changed it from fix the money, fix the world to 15 ways to fix the world, because that number 15, that's going to bring that title up sooner in searches. Let's say what's up to the chat. Let's say what's up. D-Gen, Dougie in the house. What's up, man? So good to see you this last weekend. It was lovely meeting you and your girl. I was over the moon. That was a wonderful meetup. We had a great time. I will talk about that in a little bit. I'm going to put that on hold for a second. Samantha says, afternoon, y'all. Good afternoon, Samantha. Looking forward to meeting you soon. Y'all, this is the best community. And thank you. Thank you to everyone who's been here for the last couple years through this super brutal bear market. I mean, maybe I don't know. How long have I been streaming? Maybe a year. I was looking back at some of my older streams, and it's been maybe about a year and a half since I started streaming. Probably been in the community for 2 years, and I had no clue what was going on. I mean, I got into this and didn't know. I knew the words bull market and bear market, but I didn't know enough or watch enough to know that we were in the middle of a bull market and we were about to go into a bear market. I didn't have sorry. Hopefully it's not cutting me off too much. But basically, I don't think it would have made sense to even take profit at that time. So this is my first crypto cycle. This bear market has been wretched. And it's been really awesome to see who has stayed, who's stuck with it. I know I'm going to miss some names, but I'm just going to rattle off a few people that I just like am so stoked that still exist in this ecosystem and are doing things every single day. Ben Dubard, ATX Crypto, Westcott, Whales Only, of course, Crypto Coffee, Crypto 7, Hex Token. Who else is out there all day, every day? I know there's a ton, and I can't even think of them right now. Let me think. And there's a lot of people out there too that are still, not necessarily streaming, but like they're still on Twitter, still doing. Susie Q, who's not a streamer, but she is a Hexican through and through. I love that I see her out there shilling Hex everywhere she goes. Sandy B. There's a D-Gen Dougie. Dude, Crypto Heartbeat, Rags to Riches, that whole freaking crew. Samantha, I mean, I've seen you on those streams for a long time. So, shout out to not just the content creators, but the people who are out there supporting us on the daily, always in chats, retweeting us, doing all those things. That means the world, right? Like I got 4 viewers at the bottom of bear market. You know what I mean? Like I don't care. I'm not here for popularity or anything. I know that I bring a different view. I bring a little something different into this ecosystem in terms of my content. I don't talk about the price. I don't talk about charts. I don't do that kind of stuff, right? It's not my expertise. My expertise is bringing a smile to your face. So with that being said, let's take a moment to breathe. And when you breathe and you think you've much as you can inhale, try and inhale just a little bit more, because that's going to let the blood flow kind of just like really get pumping. So we're going to do it 2 more times. All right. Feels good. Yes. Now we're doing it. Okay. Back to the chat. Uncle Will says, hey, everybody. Hey, Uncle Will. Thank you for tuning in. Armando says, what does your shirt say? This is a shirt. Thank you so much. Oh, RH Max also on the daily, always putting out content. Dollar Cost Crypto. Shout out to those guys. So this shirt is a gift from RH Max. He handed these out at the PulseChain event, I believe. And I was hanging out with Nerd Girl and Hex Nurse, Hexo's wife, and I customized it. So I got this like cute little sleeve thing going and cut this little triangle out. But yeah, so it says Richard Hart Maximalist since 2021. 10,000x PulseChainSends.org. That's what was going on in Richard's life. And they're cool. But I like all those shirts that Max made. I think he started them at either 2016 or 2017. And each year that he made the shirt has it has the same face of Richard, but then it has a different little saying under here as to what was going on with Richard during that time. And that's, I mean, just these shirts alone are like testament to how Richard wins over and over and over again, every year, all the time. It's not Richard Hart lose. It's not Richard Hart fail. It's Richard Hart win. Okay, get a clue. I'm a little sassy. I'm feeling a little sassy today. I got a little sassafras going on here. Maybe it's because I'm in the South. Who knows? So that's what my shirt says, Armando. Thanks for asking. Mr. Chuck, what is up, sir? Good to see you in the chat again. Appreciate your time and energy. Mr. Chuck says RH is going to be over-prepared and educate the SEC. All he really needs to do is just prove it's not a security and not under the SEC's jurisdiction to win the case. It's as simple as that. You know, he's already brilliant. Richard has been a genius for, like Hexalina Pulsalot says. Also, shout out to Hexalina for always, memes and fantastic tweets. If you don't follow Hexalina Pulsalot, let me get her Twitter because y'all should. Hexalina. Very, very wonderful community member who just posted a poll. Hexalina Pulsalot. Her handle is StakeHex5555. I'm going to put that in the chat right about now. Bear with me, ladies and gentlemen. So this is Hexalina's handle. It's at StakeHex5555. Please give her a follow. And she just came out with a poll. How much percent of what you worked hard to design and create should you be allowed to own day one? Lols. Always with the lols every single time. 0% I'm communist. 100% I'm capitalist. 50% for deep state. 30% for antitrust. Very interesting. Very interesting. I really love her take on a lot of things. All right, back to the chat. All right, Armando says, oh, I see it now. I like the shirt. I'm in the same boat. Yes. Yes. Westcott in the house. What is up, front? You in that shirt. Yes, I love this shirt. I love it. It's fantastic. It's fun. I like wearing this shirt and boots. I look very country. It's fantastic. Uncle Will says, I like sassy. Well, welcome aboard. Welcome aboard. Welcome to the Sassy SJ show. And then here is for just anyone who needs a visual at StakeHex5555. Give her a follow, please. All right, cool. So one thing I wanted to share is, where did it go? I am sharing a little bit from the 15 Ways to Fix the World book. And let me get back to, okay, marketing. All right. So this is, in fact, let me go ahead and share the screen because I can do that now. If y'all want this PDF, you can find it in the SciVive Telegram. Let me see here. Thanks again for your patience. Let me get the link. I mean, it's t.me. I can just type. I don't know why I'm looking for it. It's t.me/SciVive. Let me go ahead and just type that in here. Let's see, IVE. It is a pinned tweet, or sorry, it's one of the pinned pages in the SciVive Telegram. So check that out. Thank you, Uncle Will. Yes, my earrings are hexagons. Bam, bam. Richard once said that he liked these earrings too. I think he commented on one of my I did one of the sci-vibe quotes. I was wearing these, and he said, "Cool earrings." Tee-hee. Thanks, Richard. All right. So back to it. 15 ways to fix the world. I wanted to read this. Where did it go? Why does it keep? Weird. That is not. Oh, that's because maybe this. Bear with me one moment. Okay, here we go. Marketing as pollution. Save yourself lots of time. Sorry, I'm gonna make sure that I have my stream up over here because just in case we get disconnected, I will know to stop talking. Okay, here we go. Save yourself lots of time by not reading news stories, especially news stories that trigger Bertram's law. And let me just say real quick that I wanted to bring this up because I don't know when Richard wrote this originally. I want to say this is probably 2016, maybe even earlier. And just because he wrote this around that time doesn't mean this wasn't, I mean, this was already in his brain. You know what I mean? Like, he already had these thoughts, was already on this page, was already this brilliant. And I believe that when you read his books and when you understand, or even when you watch his old live streams, if you're just not a reader, if you don't want to listen to the audiobooks, if that's not your bag, listen to some of his old live streams. Go back and listen to any of his live streams. This man is brilliant and he knows what he's doing and everything is calculated. I wanted to echo that. I heard Westcott and Wales talk about that. He's a calculating genius and he knows exactly what he's doing. The whole outreach marketing thing, he knew exactly what he was doing. So I had no qualms about that. And I didn't know at the time, like when I got into Hex, he had just started doing that. And so that's who I thought he was. Not until I read Sci-Vive and looked back at his older streams and then started, gathering information and understanding, picking up the pieces of who he was, right? He's like his Hex diamond, y'all. He's like the diamond. He's multifaceted. He is a multifaceted, brilliant, shining man. And he is going to fix the world. I truly believe that he has got some real amazing tricks up his sleeve. He's got some things coming down the pipe that we can't even imagine. I used to think he might run for office, and then I actually was rereading Fix the Money, 15 Ways to Fix the World. And I thought, I don't know if he would do that because the system is so broken and he knows that. So I wonder, with this SEC case, I wonder, what kind of attention is that going to bring? And what else are we going to learn about him? What's his next move? I can't wait. I cannot wait to see. He's not gone forever. Do not worry. Do not cry. He's also not gone, by the way. I mean, I want to reiterate that. He's on Twitter. He's in Telegram. I mean, you can see like it says, seen recently, he's watching us. He's watching things. He's seeing stuff. He's not dead to this. In fact, if you look at his Twitter, you can also see, or sorry, his X, you can also see his replies. I don't know that he's replying very much right now, but you can see his likes. You can see that he's still following people. He's still retweeting things. He's still watching what we're doing, right? He's very much still a part of this community. He just has his head focused on the problem at hand, the issue at hand, right? All right, so let's get back to this here. So just again, I wanted to bring this up because I see his brilliance in these kinds of statements, okay? And it didn't take me long to realize this when it comes to marketing just being a bunch of junk. But I also wanted to read this section because as Hexicans, as Pulsicans, as PulseXicans, as Richard Hart Maxi, whatever you want to call us, right? As people who exist in this ecosystem, it is up to us to pump our own bags, right? So we need to learn the best marketing tools and tricks in order to do that. And Richard has a lot of great information on that, not just, here in his books, but he speaks on that often. Check out, before I forget, let me see if this is right. Hex search. Yes. If you want to find more information on anything Richard has spoken about, I don't know how far back this tool goes, but what you can do is you can go to hexsearch.io and you can type in, for example, Scivive. Anytime Richard talks about Scivive, you can see that. Anytime he talks about marketing strategies, sandwiches, who knows, anything you want to see where Richard has spoken on a certain topic, go ahead and type into that tool what it is that you're looking for, and it'll bring up the streams where he spoke about that certain topic. So shout out to whoever did hexsearch.io. That is an amazing tool. I love it. All right, to the back to the 15 ways to fix the world. Okay. Save yourself. I'm going to start over. I digressed. Save yourself lots of time by not reading news stories, especially news stories that trigger Bertram's law. When the headlines include words like could, might, maybe, is this, etc., it's going to be a filler story. Because if it had more meat, they'd lead with the meat. And I know that as a former journalist. You want to catch, right? You want to hook people. Forget about all those stories. They want you to spend more time on site. You should want to spend less. They want you to spend money on things you don't need. You should spend money on things you do need. They need you to watch. And you like conflict, violence, us versus them mentality. If it bleeds, it leads. Politically, it's maximization of conflict and minimization of agreement. This is the definition of polarization, which makes compromise and progress harder to achieve. Hell, where they can't find the conflict they want, they'll just misunderstand or misportray the situation or arguments to create a conflict. How true is that? Especially these days, right? It's gotten worse and worse and worse. And now we're watching all this made up, absolute garbage trash on television. It's absolute junk. And it's all false. It's all fake news. Oftentimes, oftentimes, however, oh, oh, okay. Oftentimes, however, one party is so wrong that any compromise would be bad. For instance, war. What if half of Congress wanted to go to war and the other half didn't want to? Should they half go to war? Better to win and win fast or not go at all. This is the reason you have photo slideshows on the internet when you have to click next instead of just scrolling. I hate those. I hate them so much. I don't really do a lot of, intake of content, right? But do I sometimes get sucked into that trash, and how annoying is that? They don't get to inflate their page views if you scroll instead of click. This is why you have advertisement buttons as close as possible to other things you actually do want to press, because sometimes you will slip and they will make money on it. This is why when you open your magazine, ads fall out of it. You have to pick them up and see them. This is why commercials are louder than television shows and why there's so many commercials. Ever have the privilege of watching the same commercial 10 times during a broadcast on the internet because they couldn't sell enough inventory to have another ad to show you? It's not so fun. These marketing people are making the world a much worse place. They waste your time, show you the worst versions of the world, and inspire you to do nothing but spend as much time watching as possible and spend as much money on whatever garbage they're promoting. Ever notice websites get worse and worse to navigate? And Richard talks a lot about this in Sci-Vive as well. It's just the navigation of websites and how garbage they are. Instead of optimizing for the best possible experience, say on a large screen, they optimize for what most people use, which is a terribly small screen, right? Usually your phone. Sites that used to show you lots of content at once, where you didn't have to hit page down 100 times, now you have to hit page down 100 times. And even worse, sorry, click next and wait, or even not use a button called next, but a button called older. I love this part. Listen, website, it may be older to you, but since I read left to right and top to bottom, it's actually next to me and newer to me because I just detected it. Focus on me instead of you. Next, not older. Make everyone's lives easier. Let's all use next and back instead of whatever proprietary special idea you. So that's a good example of what Richard thinks is terrible about marketing today. And let's see. I want to read this one next. This is the last part I'll read out of 15 Ways to Fix the World, and then I'll get back to the chat. We'll talk a little bit more. If you have any questions, you guys want to talk about something else, or, share your opinion on this whole Richard Hart SEC thing, please do. But this is what I think, this is a little bit about, I think, a good way that we can wrap our minds around better ways to market the things that we're in. And that's one reason that I want to get more into the longevity community, because I truly strongly believe that that is going to be a very up and coming, and it's up and coming technologies and information on that is going to start coming out more and more. More people are talking about it. Every now and then Elon talks a little bit about it. He's more interested in going to Mars, but I strongly believe that people like Aubrey de Grey, Brent Nally, David Asprey, David Sinclair, I think that there's going to be enough brilliant voices who speak on longevity and help make it make sense to people like Elon, that eventually someone like him is going to invest in it. So here's something, maybe like a good way to think about, what more can we do as holders of Richard Hart's products to get people to come into this ecosystem, right? Which is basically what I'm dedicating my life to, living in this bus and going around the US on tour, right? So it says, never building for just one time. Hit and let others benefit. Spreading great ideas is a catalyst for all invention and progress. Cross-pollinating specializations, different attitude types, and different ways of looking at things leads to paradigm breakthroughs more easily. Have the courage to try more things. Pause button. ASMR sci-vibe, reading in the pool, I've tried a few different things, right? And I know that I still have a lot more to test, right? There's a lot of different things that I can still get out there and try to work on and try to, break through our echo chamber, because that's the problem, right? Is we kind of get stuck in our own little bubble of influencers and content creators and content consumers. So it's those ideas, right? The paradigm shifting, trying different things, how can we do this 10 times bigger? I'm about to read the rest of this, but people like Westcott doing cover songs and things like that. And Westcott, you best hit me up about this new song. I'm so excited. Let's go. LFG. All right. Having the courage to try more things. Asking how you can do things 10 times bigger, faster, larger, throwing in a large number, small number, and zero. See where the math goes. Getting maximum value out of all the abilities the cellular phones have now. Distributed anonymous companies. Sales is motivation for the globe treated as a single person. Motivation is personal sales. You are selling yourself to do things as the world uses marketing to motivate it. The individual and the group of individuals that are the globe have many things in common. It could be a fallacy that the parts are the same as the whole, and the whole is the same as the parts. However, I think it's more useful than it is confusing, at least how I understand it. And this is Richard's voice, right? So when I say I, it's Richard speaking. I wonder what other amazing breakthroughs have a common theme. Nanotech. Moore's law and all the things that will become less expensive because of it. Replacing human memory requirements with creativity. Since Google and books do an amazing job of normal memory retention now. Foundation that points out logical fallacies where they're found as well. They'll have busy, busy lives. And one thing that's been interesting to me, he hasn't spoken about it much, but I did see a little bit of a switch in the way Richard approaches or understands AI and that kind of chat GPT technology. At one point, myself and someone else who was helping me edit Sci-Vive thought that it might be useful to use chat GPT to do some of the editing. And Richard wasn't really on board with it. He didn't think it was good enough to do that yet. And 100% right. He was absolutely, I believe at the time, absolutely right about that. Because this was, I mean, it's been, I don't know, this has been like maybe a year ago, right? That question came up and that we had that conversation. So now with the innovations and the upgrades, maybe it's a little better. Maybe there are ways that can benefit sci-vive or sci-vivalism. I'd be super interested to put sci-vive into ChatGPT. Is there a restriction to how much text can go in there? I mean, sci-vive's super long, so I don't know that would even work. But to have some kind of AI read this text and then spit out the most valuable bullet points, maybe the most life-changing parts of it. In fact, heck, maybe I'll do that with 15 Ways to Fix the World. It's much shorter. So, and well, anyways, what I was going to say is that I did see more recently, Richard tweeted something about AI and the technological advances and how it can be useful. So that was pretty cool to see him. And that's the thing, you guys. Richard's not the kind of person, I mean, he's so smart that he is going to keep his mind open. That's one thing I think that the most brilliant people do, is that they've not closed their minds. They're not shut off to new advances in technology or to new ideas or to a new way of thinking about something, right? I believe a lot of the smartest people are very open-minded and very much able to take in, right, these new ideologies and these new lessons that they can learn and apply them and then do things 10 times better. So that is that. I don't want to go any further. Let me see here. Back to StreamYard. I'm going to read a little bit of sci-vive in a minute, but I'm going to go back to the chat. There we go. Hi. Hey there. Hello. What's up, everyone? All right, so we've got Uncle Will says, do you have a link to what you have on screen? And would you please share 100% that, did I type it? Yeah, just above. So just two chats above what you asked there. Go there, t.me/sci-vive. And in the pinned comments, you will see 15 Ways to Fix the World. I believe it's a PDF that is able to that's shareable. So check that PDF out. And those of you all watching, the new people that just came in, if you haven't seen it, haven't heard it, haven't read it, I think honestly, I'm gonna be sharing. I need to finish my sci-vive quotes. I think I only have like less than 60 left to do. I committed to doing 369 quotes, and I think the last one I did was 305, and I've been busy doing other things, so I gotta record those last ones. And I think as soon as I'm done recording them, I'm just gonna put out 2 a day and get them out there and get them done, and then work on 15 Ways to Fix the World quotes. Because as Richard is preparing to do this SEC fight or settle, I mean, I honestly don't know. I have no clue. But I could see, because of the way he is and how he wants that glory, I really think it would be amazing to watch him go to court and really just freaking lay it down and get people to understand, how ridiculous all of these claims are. I actually should read the case. I haven't done that yet. I'll be honest with you. And I think that it would be valuable for me to read that, because I know that a lot of it is just a bunch of junk. But I digress. Let's go back to the chat. Garten says, greetings, Hexago. Hello, Garten. Thank you so much for coming by. This is the search that I spoke about just a few moments ago. If you want to know what Richard has said on a certain topic, you can go to hexsearch.io, type in a keyword, and it will bring up every stream Richard has ever mentioned that word. Magic. Thank you again, hexsearch.io. Samantha, thank you so much for replying to Uncle Will, who said, Uncle Will, she said it's linked in the sci-vive Telegram. So there you go. Uncle Will says, thank you, Samantha. Samantha says, you're welcome. Y'all are so sweet. Look at you taking care of each other. And Crypto Gains Club in the chat with a top hat. Hell yeah. Top hats all day long. I got a lot of work to do, you guys. When we go to the events, I get caught up in the excitement and the adventures and meeting all these Hexicans and Pulsicans and people in our community. So everything else kind of gets set on the back burner. But I'm going to go full speed ahead. I have got 10 days, I think. 10 days until we're in Atlanta. So PulseChainTour.com, we are coming to Atlanta. That is going to be one of the biggest meetups. Y'all, if you are anywhere in that area, you got to come out because we have tons of speakers. I think so. Let's see. I know it was Mello, who is super big on security. I think he's either a fan or a friend of Papa B. I've not run into him too much on my journey in the crypto world, but this guy's got some really great alpha on keeping all of your crypto secure. So come check him out. Of course, RG3 is going to do his presentation. And y'all, RG was on fire this last weekend. So I've seen this presentation. I helped write it. And I've never seen him so just confident and able to really get his points across with what it is that we're in, right? His whole speech goes from, who he is, who Richard is, why Hex, what is crypto in general, right? It's a very beginner type thing, right? Because we want people who have never heard of this stuff before to come in and to then have a decent understanding of what Hex is, how is a crypto, and why Richard Hart's ecosystem. And I mean, that man just blew me away after seeing this speech several times already. Just very well done. So that is one of the greatest things I think about this tour is that speech he does really encompasses thing, right? And it's great for beginners. It's also great for it's a good refresher, right? It helps me every time. I'm just like, oh right, yeah, that's a great point as to why I hold Hex in the first place. And let's see, so I said Mellow, RG, Rags to Riches, ladies and gentlemen, that man, the giant ginger. I forget all the things he says. That's a pre-Ayatollah of something. Don't like, subscribe, or comment on any of his stuff. Do it to mine instead. I say that every now and then. But man, Rags is just on fire as well. His speech was just so well done. He's so knowledgeable. He was actually he was like the second streamer that I started really watching. I watched Whales for a long time, and then I started watching Rags because I just really liked I didn't necessarily agree on a lot of I guess maybe like political or background type things. I do now a little bit more these days, right? I find myself kind of like swaying back and forth from side to side as to where I was when I first joined this community and my mentality at that point and where I am now, because I've learned so much from people like Rags to Riches. Because again, I'm not calling myself a genius by any means, but I think people who are smart and people who are in this community have that ability to stay open-minded and to say, shit, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this isn't the best way. Maybe this isn't the best information. Maybe I've been told some lies that I believed for a really long time, right? So to have that understanding and to be able to, take in content from other people that you might not agree with, but hey, maybe they've got some really good points and all of a sudden you realize you see yourself agreeing with them. So Rags to Riches, go comment and like and subscribe. He's such a wonderful dude, but seriously just has such a great handle on the economy, on what's going on the world. His knowledge of history, I don't know that there's anyone else in this community that I can compare to Rags to Riches when it comes to that. There's no one else that I've heard when it comes to US and the monetary and government and all of that kind of history, that his whole grip on that and the way that he uses that knowledge to help you understand why Richard Hart's ecosystem, it's brilliant. So come out and see Rags. He is going to be there. It's going to be great. So we got, Mellow, Rags to Riches, RG3. It's on the banner on my Twitter. There's two people. that I can't wrap my brain around right now. Hold the phone, ladies and gentlemen. I'm too excited about life. I can't I can't think right now. Oh, freaking Cabana, ladies and gentlemen. Cabana Crypto is gonna be in Atlanta. I am such a fan of Cabana. He's another one of the people that I started watching. And I love his show. I love the trivia. Cabana, win SJ. Win SJ. I want to be on a Cabana show. I've never been invited. So someone reach out to Cabana and say, hey, you should get SJ on there because she loves you. I really do. I got to meet him once very briefly in Chicago at the Cubs game when Big K threw out the first pitch. And just stellar dude, real sweet guy. But I love his content as well. I love that I love his positivity. I love that positive vibe. He seems like he's a real peacemaker like myself, right? We just like, can't we all just get along, boys and girls, right? Let's just all smile and put the bullshit and this bear market behind us. That is going to happen eventually. I strongly believe. I was listening to Wales and Westcott, and you know, I'm a forgiver, right? Like they were both just like, no, you know, like we're just not gonna, people who have shilled this or the other. Well, there's a difference. Okay. To me, there's a difference. There are people who are purposefully leading others astray and purposefully taking away from this ecosystem and Richard Hart's products and purposefully getting you to get wrecked. There are people out there getting other people wrecked. Fuck that noise. I'm not about that. That's what you're doing and that's what you're a part of, like I don't have time for you. I don't have time for that. That's a lot of the reason why I don't diversify into these other little like degen. I don't degen. Like I don't. Maybe eventually when I have, big enough bags and I feel like, putting a little bit into this, that, or the other token, maybe I'll do that. But at this point in time, my the capital or any powder, like not that I have any right now, but any purchase that I would make, right? Or any DCA I've done in the last year, right, has been specifically into Hex, Pulse, Hex or Pulse. Actually, that's been it. I haven't even bought PHEX yet. So EHEX, Pulse, that's it. And I just want to I want to feel more secure in those bags than anything else because that's why I'm here, right? Richard Hart has created the most secure, stable, amazing DeFi products that exist. And y'all are sleeping on it if you haven't figured that out yet. Because seriously, that man is, I'll say it again, he's a genius. Like legitimate Mensa genius, right? And he, not only that, but he is a philanthropist. He loves this community. How many times, and maybe that's what I should start, maybe one thing I should start doing is clipping every time he talked about, there's a beautiful video that someone else has done already. I think it might have been Hex Edits, but that we're over and over and over and over and over and over again, Richard talks about how much he loves Hexicans, how much he loves this community, how much he loves the people that are out there promoting his products and telling the world about what it is that he's done and that he's doing. He wants to see other people succeed. I took the tweet down. I used to have it's now my PulseChain tweet, but the tweet that I had pinned for a very long time, I just broke down because I got so emotional reading one of these parts out of Sci-Vive where Richard talks about wanting to see other people in the world win because he's already done it. He's already won. And that's part of this for me is that it's not just Richard versus the SEC. This is Richard versus the world. This is Richard wanting to change the world. Y'all, I got work to do. There's a stream that I've been clipping up and I haven't had a chance to blah blah. I haven't had a chance to share it out yet. But Brent Nally, if you have a chance, oh, you know what? Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to find it. I'm going to find this stream and I'm going to share it with you guys so you can see what I'm talking about. Brent Nally. Here we go. Brent Nally and Richard Hart. Brent Nally was a guest on my show just a little while ago. Definitely give him a follow if you are into longevity in any way, shape, or form, as you should be in this community. Brent is super brilliant, has been studying longevity for a very long time, and he and Richard had a stream together. And in this stream, you will start to understand who Richard really is and what he's really about. You know what? Guess what? It's not crypto. It's not. Crypto is not the number one thing on his list. It's not the number one thing he wants to do. Nope, not at all. It's extending the life of people good and great and want to do good in the world. He has this quote where he talks about, what if people like Tesla, Einstein, right? What if these brilliant geniuses had lived just a little bit longer or were around a little bit longer, right? How many more advancements in technology would there be? How much further along as a society would we be? So definitely check out those two. The first link is the stream with Brent and Richard. The second link is Brent Nally's channel on YouTube. Please go subscribe to him. He has got some really great content. And then the last person, who I apologize, I do not know much about, but Steve Hitson. Let's check Steve out. Let me see. Steve Hitson. Let's see. Steve Hitson, blockchain and AI educator, God-fearing man, and constitutionalist. 3 to 5 threads weekly. Follow and subscribe. So he's done a lot of retweeting of Richard Hart's stuff. Hung out with our good friend Trevor Sarver out in Puerto Rico. Pretty cool. Good stuff. So yeah, check out Steve. He's going to be speaking. Let me bring up the PulseChain tour. In fact, let's just do that real quick. Let's just take a gander at Atlanta. So this is the Atlanta Masterclass. Oh, here we go. Okay, so share this tab instead. Are we sharing instead? We are not. There we go. PulseChain Masterclass Atlanta. This is coming up in 10 days, ladies and gentlemen. Get your tickets now. It's going to be amazing. So September 23rd, it's a Saturday. Hold on. I burped. Could you even hear that? I hope you didn't. All right. So there are a couple, it's a full day. So that's the coolest thing too about this tour, is that every time it's totally different. Most of the sessions or most of our events have been a half day, right? We get there at 2:00 in the afternoon. We have speakers until about 5 p.m. We do a happy hour, we do dinner, we go do an event, just depending on the day, right? This is the second full day seminar. I believe Chicago was the first. So we had an all day seminar there. You can choose to go half day. You can choose to go full day. You see the tickets over here. Premium admission and VIP admission. So there's tons of different things going on there. And hey, shout out to Internet Money. I actually I need to get on this. Gosh, I got to make a list of all this shit I got coming out the pipe, man. I wanted to do a Staker app walkthrough with their new, what they have with PulseChain now out. I'd love to also do an Internet Money wallet setup walkthrough. So that's something I'm going to do. You guys, how cool is this? Our event is actually at the Atlanta Blockchain Center. What? Yes. Awesome. So event is happening at the Atlanta Blockchain Center. Ooh, I am a terrible person. I don't know who this is. I don't know what that is. I gotta ask Kaylin. Anywho, all right. So full day for us on the 23rd of September in Atlanta. 9 a.m. is registration and meet and greet. I will be there. Black Hexagon will be there. RG usually is there for the meet and greet as well. And depending on, the speakers, if they want to show up early, hopefully a few of them will be there to meet and greet you and hang out during registration. Session 1 is going to be intro to decentralized finance and cryptocurrency. And with an emphasis on proper security with Mello. RG3 is going to be doing his speech. Session 2, smart contracts. Rags to Riches is going to be doing that. I think we talked a little bit. He might mix that up a little bit and do something a little more in depth. Then we have a lunch break, 12:30 to 2. Usually we all go out to lunch together. So that'll be a blast. Session 3, liquidity providing and yield farming with Steve Hitson and Cabana Crypto. Gonna be awesome. Learn how to turn your crypto assets into yield producing assets. And then we got to update this. Unfortunately, Cosmic Cowboy is unable to attend. Hey, if you're in the Atlanta area and you got a thing or two to say about some of this crypto stuff, let me know. Let Black Hexagon know. Hit up RG3. No, hit up Black Hexagon or myself. One of us will make sure that we get you on the schedule and get you out there talking about this stuff. So if you're in or around the Atlanta area and you have a thing or two to say about all that, let us know. All right, so let me go back to the chat because it's been a minute. Gonna close out the screen. Okay, hi, I'm back. All right, let's go. All right, E-Type, what's up? I don't think I've seen you in the chat before. Thank you for joining. E-Type says, let's go. D-Raj says, howdy. Howdy, D-Raj. Thank you for being here. D-Gen says, pissed we missed RG3 talking. Me too. Because like I said, he was so on fire. There is a virtual ticket. We have not had the chance to really get that set up. But, D-Gen, hit me up. I might be able to get you some, at least audio or video from that event. Chris Side Effects! Mwah! Hey, friend. How are you? Thank you so much for tuning in. Hi, Anna. Good to see you guys. Hope you're doing well. Excited to be back in Texas. I am going to be right after the Atlanta event. I am hightailing it to Austin, actually. Because I'll just drive up to Dallas when the Dallas event happens. But I miss you guys so much. I cannot wait to hang out. Oh, hey, there's an event at the place where Brian's working. Concourse Project. It's like a 2 or 3 day drum and bass, or maybe just EDM event, but we should go. And I tried to get Brian to figure out if he can get us a discount or get me a discount. But yeah, I forget. It's like Seismic or something. I can't remember what it is, but we should go. Let's do that. All right. Garten says, I have to work that day in Atlanta. Will anyone be around the days before or after the event? Yes, Garten. If you can, if you're on any other, let me know here in the chat. If you're on any other social media, DM me. If you're not on any other social media, I will give you my email address. And I mean, it's on my business cards and stuff. It's just awildsj@gmail.com. awildsj@gmail.com. Email me, get a hold of me somehow, and I'll let you kind of know what's going on. Because yes, I'll definitely be there in the days before. Usually Sunday we hang out and do something together, the team. So let me know. Chris Side Effects says, I am in New York, SJ. Cool, man. That sounds lovely. I hope you're having a great time. I saw that you were hanging out with some animals. That looked like a lot of fun. So enjoy your time out there. And I'm so proud of you, Chris, for taking a goddamn vacation. Good for you, man. You need it. You need it. Rag's tinfoil hat is thick. Red Squirrel says, oi, oi. Oi, oi, red squirrel. Squirrel? I can't say words. Let's see. Chris says, I'll tell him. I think you're talking about Cabana. Please do. D-Raj says, please stop acting like these guys are famous outside the Hex PulseChain community. Nobody knows them. I mean, yeah, but they're famous to me. Oh, hey, loud noises. All right. Tony says, no one will convince me that Richard Hart is not an honorable man. Keep up your honest spirit, SJ. Thank you. And good to hear that, Tony Cove. Tony knows what's up because that is 100% true. Chris agrees with D-Raj. Jay Boog says facts. That is right. We got tons of facts here all day long, ladies and gents. So that is the link to the Brent Nally Richard Hart stream where you can really hear Richard's heart. Pun totally intended. Brent Nally's YouTube. Check that out. Chris says KG and his wife are beautiful people. 100%. I got to meet them in Vegas at the PulseChain conference. Lovely humans. Chris says Anna and I are playing on the 21st. I won't be there. So the 23rd is the Atlanta meetup, and then I leave from Atlanta straight to Texas. But I won't probably get to it. Bruh. That drive from Atlanta to Austin is going to be at least 12 hours, which in this bus means 6 days, because I only drive this bus 2 to maybe 3 hours max a day because it is taxing on my body. It hurts. Like, I have to put the pedal to the metal to go any kind of speed, like 60 miles an hour is the tops that I get. I'm constantly being passed by semi trucks. So it's a workout driving this thing, and I get exhausted just driving. So we'll see how soon I can get there. But again, will not be there until after the 23rd. I will probably leave Atlanta on the 25th, most likely on that Monday. All right, Garten says, yay, I'll send you an email. Yes, please do. Let us connect. And Hex Machine says, hey, SJ, keep the good vibes flowing. That's what we do. That's what we do all day long. All right, I'm going to read a little bit from SciVive, and then I'm going to call it a night, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see here. Okay, here we go. And I picked this because, again, this is another section that, to me, speaks to who Richard is, why I believe that he will win ultimately in anything and everything that he attempts to do, and why we don't rely on him or count on him. You don't have to. You don't, right? He's created these products. We trust the code, right? The code works. The math works out, right? PulseChain's been operating flawlessly for how long? 4 months now, right? Hex, almost 4 years of flawless uptime, right? That doesn't happen in software. It doesn't. I worked for Blizzard Entertainment. I know, right? So here's a little bit to end it on. And yeah, I'm going to read this. I'll probably stop and talk about a couple things. But again, this is just, keep in mind, when you guys are down, when the market's down, when everything's down, and, you just don't feel like, I didn't feel like doing this today. I didn't. Because you see the sentiment in the community. You see how upset everybody is, how down everyone is. Where is Richard? Like, who's going to pump my bags? Like, what? He's disappeared. He's abandoned us. Like, he hasn't, and he won't. And here's a little testament as to why. So this is from SciVive. Let me get this up so you guys can read along if you'd like to. And this is a chapter titled Persistence. Here's an interesting lesson. Arguably the most interesting lesson of all. Not all of those influences combined. And previous to this, he was just talking about how you are influenced as you grow up. So not all of those influences combined, the entire mass of it all, will ever compare to your drive. A highly driven person can overcome great adversity and sometimes even become a hero, despite any of the hardships or factors aforementioned. There is a special place in our souls for the role of hero. When we see someone do something amazing in the Olympics, on the battlefield, or at home, there's a calling to some part of us that wants to greatly reward them and rejoice because they brought something to reality we've so often dreamt of. Even if not conscious, some part of us knows what they did was great, and we should smile and stand tall in admiration. As it stands, a survivalist's favorite quote of all time could be from Calvin Coolidge. I'm going to little note to y'all. We decided when editing SciVive to change it from Richard's voice, where as 15 Ways to Fix the World, you hear me say I. In this case, we used survivalist, right? As there's this kind of entity that's a survivalist. But this is Richard's favorite quote from Calvin Coolidge. Nothing in the world can take the place of persistence. Talent will not. Nothing is more common than unsuccessful men with talent. Genius will not. Unrewarded genius is almost a proverb. Education will not. The world is full of educated derelicts. Persistence and determination alone are omnipotent. The slogan, "Press on," has solved and always will solve the problems of the human race. And that is what Richard is doing. He is pressing on. He is studying. He is he is learning. I mean, have you guys seen the tweets? This man is seriously diving deep so that he has the ammunition that he needs to win this case. Many people haven't read The Art of War. Many people that haven't read The Art of War like to denounce it because they think that everyone who reads it tries to turn everything else into war, so the learning of the book can be applied. If people that read it are improperly applying it, then that may be the case. In reality, what you will find is that the conflicts that exist in war also exist outside of war. If you Google the phrase "know thy enemy," you will come up with The Art of War, written by Sun Tzu over 2,500 years ago. That phrase has been adapted through the centuries in countless works of literature. Originally, the premise was in 3 parts. 1, if you only know thyself, with every battle, you will also have a loss. 2, if you know the enemy, but not thyself, you will also lose a fair amount of your battles. 3, if you know thyself and your enemy, you can fight 100 battles without a loss. Knowing yourself and your enemy applies not only to conducting warfare. Knowing yourself can be useful in all areas of life. You need knowledge of that which is the struggle you are pushing against, which might not be another conscious actor. It might be cold temperatures. It might be laziness. It might be cooking food properly. Such knowledge grants you a huge advantage against it. Every good story is pushed against some weight. Therefore, the statement, "know thyself and thy enemy," is useful in all contexts, particularly those outside of war. The reason this book has remained relevant for over 25 centuries isn't because we are all warriors and generals. It's because the universally powerful advice in many areas that are not related to war. It's because of the universally powerful advice in many areas that are not related to war. Conflict, strategy, and effort are required in many important areas of life. Maybe what's actually most important to you aren't the cool, novel ideas included in sci-fi that give it validity. Maybe what you need are the basic principles that influenced the author and the writing of this book. Perhaps those same basic ideas bring you to a position where you can build and give back. Y'all, again and again, that's what Richard wants. He wants to see us build and he wants to see us give back because that's what he is doing. Don't be so in love with the concepts you built after you achieved, without paying homage to those that allowed you to begin building in the first place. How are y'all going to build anything on top of PulseChain if PulseChain wasn't built? Anyways, the precedent ideas of others are equally as important as your expansion on them. Don't allow the precedent of generic, useful ideas to become forgotten because you internally value all the new to you, generated by you ideas more. Wow. Wow. I didn't even realize how applicable to what's going on in our world right now that was about to be. Y'all, that's some shit right there. Don't allow the precedent of generic, useful ideas to become forgotten because you internally value all the new to you or generated by you ideas more, okay? Like, there's people out, and that's kind of what I was saying earlier, right? Like, there's people out there building to take from us, right? There are people out there that are not doing that. Of course, there's a ton of us, right? There's a lot of people out there that are doing good and building on PulseChain and doing amazing things. I see. In fact, see one of them in the chat. What's up, Gold Key? Good to see you. So I'm gonna end real soon. I'll finish the chat. We'll chit chat for a minute. Let me get rid of that. There we go. And just, all of that. I mean, he wants to see us succeed. And he's going to do everything in his power to make that happen. He is. And if you don't believe that, go take a hike. go take a nap, come back in a couple years, and find your bags pumped because, you know, we don't need your negativity. We don't need your crying. We don't need it, right? That's why I'm here doing the PulseChain Positivity Podcast. Because we're trying to be positive up in this joint, right? We're trying to let you guys know that there is no need to FUD. There's no need for it. Richard is a solid dude. And I mean, I don't know what more I can do, you know, outside of providing this sci-vibe content and providing this positivity content to help people become more aware of that. So, with that said, oh, let's see, where was I? I don't know if I saw this already. Yeah, I did, but we'll say it again. Hey, SJ, keep the good vibes flowing. That's what we're doing. Gold Key says, hey, SJ, what's up, Gold Key? Good to see you. Chris Side Effects says, I'm having a blast, FYI. Much love. I am glad to hear that, friend. He says, I'm going to continue my 12,000 steps today. Nice. Dude, that's the place to do it. New York, I think New York and Chicago, when I used to do this old job, my cell phone tower job, remember? I'm talking to Chris because we've known each other for a decade. I think those are the two places that I got the most steps ever in like the couple days. I think I hit like 30,000 or something stupid ridiculous one day. It was nuts. I walked for miles. Chris says, good to see you. Gold Key. Gold Key says, hey, Chris, good to see you too. Chris says, I'm still happy. LOL. The code is still working. Exactly. And it will not stop. Can't stop, won't stop. Cryptov Valutov says, thanks. You're welcome. Oh, snap, on RH Max appears. What's going on, RH Max? Hey, hit me up about the sci-vibe streaming. I thought that was supposed to be today, and then nothing came of it. And maybe did I drop the ball? I hope I didn't drop the ball. But we'll pick that back up, yeah? RH Max says, as our friend Somi says, if you can't handle it, click the sell button and leave the rest of us alone. Yes. Leave the rest of us alone with our straight backs and our fluffy strippers. Fluffy strippers. Yeah. Fluffy slippers. Fluffy slippers. I was trying to say slippers. I'm so sorry. Oh, man. Russ says, hey, SJ. Hey, Russ. Good to see you again. It's been a minute. RH Max says, nice shirt. Love what you've done with it. I don't know if you saw me earlier. Hold on. But look, it's all frilly. Yeah. Thanks. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. Hanging out with a couple ladies, ripping up shirts. Knoxville. Waves. Hello, Knoxville. Good to see you. Chris Side Effects says, sadly, it's people that are too broke to invest anyway. I mean, that's part of it, right? Like, I mean, I'm there, right? Like, I don't have the income or the means. I think I'm gonna try and get back into doing some more voice work because it's rough out here on the road. But you know, you don't see me crying. Like, I'm happy with my bags. I'm happy with, like, you know, whatever it is I'm able to contribute. Any little bit I'm able to pick up, I do. And, you know, yeah, it's sad. It's sad that it's the broke plebs out there crying about it. I got a bump on my forehead. I'm glad I have bangs. All right. Anyways, I've been good at not messing with my hair too much on this stream, right? I'm trying to not do that. Anyways, Side Effect says, good to see you, RH Max. RH Max says, strippers. Whoops. And hey, Chris. And then RH Max says, I think I was waiting to see if you got in touch with Brent before I scheduled it. I thought I replied to you on X that I said he was good for today. But you should hit him up. No, he should hit you up. We'll figure it out. We'll do it. Are we doing this all together? Is it you, me, and Brent, and Coffee? And who else was it? Who else did I say? Oh, yeah, Ben Dubard. I need to talk to Ben because I don't remember if he has listened to or read a bunch of sci-fi stuff, but he's like super on that level. I like it. All right. And Max says, hadn't heard back from him before. Okay. And then Chris Side Effects says, clipping that. LOLs. Okay, fine. Ladies and gentlemen, it's over an hour of time here. I'm going to go ahead and cut it after these two last comments. RH Max says, and then, yeah, we can get a sci-fi stream going. And yes, I love it. Y'all, thank you so much for tuning in. I am a wild SJ. I'm going to try and stream again tomorrow and the next day and the next day. I'm going to do it when I can. This has been lovely. I really enjoyed this conversation. If you have any suggestions on different things that you want to hear about, different topics that I can bring to the community, if there's anything that you're super interested in, especially when it comes to longevity, because that is now one of the things that I am focusing on. Because guess what? If you watch that stream between Brent Nally and Richard Hart, you will understand that that is really what his heart is about. This right here, this stream is absolutely one of, I think, the best streams to get to know who Richard is, what he cares about, and what he's doing with his life. So definitely check that out. Last comment of the night, Dr. H, the cryptopractor, says, hey, AWSJ, caught the end. Stay strong, Dr. H. Appreciate that. I appreciate each and every one of you. Please comment, like, subscribe, share this stream out, because we need more positivity in this space. And if that is the least I can do, I'm going to do it. Love you guys. Have a wonderful rest of your Tuesday, Wednesday, maybe wherever you are in the world. And I will catch you again real soon.